She was standing there, by the fridge, holding that stupid little bird figurine. The one I'd always hated. I'd asked her, like, 100 times to put it away. It was tacky. It was an avian blight on my minimalist kitchen. And she just kept it there. Like a tiny, porcelain middle finger. So she's holding it, right? And I'm standing there, my coffee getting cold. My left knee starts bouncing. I'm trying to breathe through my nostrils, like that therapist lady told me to. Deep, cleansing breaths, Christopher. Yeah, right. She said, "You're really going to let this be the thing?" The thing. Right. Because that's what this was. A showdown. Over a ceramic wren. You know how it is. These things just erupt. I just stared at her. The way her hair fell. Unbrushed. It always looked unbrushed. Like she'd slept on it sideways. And it was still damp. Then she said, "It's just a bird." Just a bird. My entire life, apparently, boiled down to just a bird. I walked past her. Went to the sink. Started running the water. Hot. So hot it scalded my fingertips. I didn't flinch. Mind you, my whole body was humming like a faulty transformer. She put the bird down. On the counter. Next to the fruit bowl. Which was also ridiculous. Too many apples. Not enough variety. I need to call the dentist. About that one tooth. The one that's been bothering me. It's been like a month. Then I heard it. A low hum. From the basement. The old boiler. Making that noise it always made before it decided to explode. Or at least, that's what I always thought. Probably just needed a good clean. Or maybe a sacrificial goat. You know, for good measure. She turned. Her eyes were. I don't know. Like she was looking at a stranger. Or a particularly stubborn stain. And I knew. This was it. I told her. I'm leaving. That was it. And then I walked out. Left the water running. The apples piled up. The stupid bird figurine catching the light. My left knee still thumping a frantic rhythm against my thigh. I didn't look back. I don't think I even closed the door behind me. The hum of the boiler followed me. Or maybe that was just my own internal alarm system finally short-circuiting. Either way. It was Thursday. Or maybe it was Tuesday. Doesn't matter. The day sort of blurred after that. Like watercolor paint left out in the rain. I remembered this one time, years ago. She'd borrowed my favorite hoodie. The gray one. Without asking. And I'd found it in her car. Smelled like stale cigarette smoke and cheap perfume. I still haven't forgiven her for that. This bird thing felt similar. A violation of personal space. A disregard for the meticulously curated chaos of my existence. It was a betrayal of sorts. Not a grand, sweeping betrayal, but a small, insidious one. Like finding a single gray hair in your soup. It ruins the whole experience. She never called. Not that day. Not the next. I sat on a park bench. Watched some kids chase pigeons. They weren't the cute kind. More like rats with wings. I think I was hungry. Or maybe I'd just forgotten to eat again. The sun felt too bright. Too optimistic. Like it hadn't gotten the memo. Then my phone buzzed. A text. From my old college roommate. The one who now ran that tech company. The one who owed me big. For that whole thing with the venture capital pitch. He just sent a smiley face emoji. And a single word. Done. That was it. The end of an era. Or maybe just the end of that particular species of bird. I stood up. The wood of the bench was splintered. I snagged my jeans. Didn't even notice. Just started walking. Towards. I don't know. Somewhere else. Anywhere else. The sound of the pigeons flapping their wings grew louder. Or maybe it was just the blood in my ears. Whatever. The drive home. Or rather, the drive away from that home. It wasn't a long drive. Maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes of the hum of the engine. The intermittent squeak of the windshield wipers against a phantom drizzle, the radio playing some inane pop song that I'd never heard before and would never hear again. I kept checking the rearview mirror, not for anyone following, but just to see the receding street. The house, the place where the bird figurine still sat, probably. I imagined it, glinting. Mocking me. I pulled into a parking lot. A generic strip mall. The kind with a laundromat. A nail salon that smelled perpetually of acetone, and a discount grocery store that always had slightly wilted produce. I just sat there. In the car. The engine still running. The smell of the stale air freshener fighting with the faint scent of old coffee grounds from the passenger seat cup holder. I needed to get gas. But that felt like a monumental task. Like planning a moon landing. I thought about the bird. It wasn't even a particularly well-made bird. The paint was a little smudged on the wing. The beak was slightly off-center. It was the kind of thing you'd find at a garage sale. Or in a thrift store bin. But it was hers. And it was in my kitchen. And that was apparently the tipping point. I started the car again. Drove aimlessly. Past chain restaurants, their neon signs buzzing like trapped insects. Past houses with manicured lawns, the kind that looked like they were painted on. I found myself on a familiar road, one that led to the old mini-golf place. The one with the broken windmills and the faded clown mouth entrance. I hadn't been there in years. But I turned in. The air here was different. A mix of cut grass, damp earth, and that faint, sweet smell of stale popcorn from the abandoned concession stand. The miniature golf course was a ghost of its former glory. Weeds poked through the cracked asphalt. The little plastic flags on the holes were faded and tattered. I paid the lone attendant, a teenager with vacant eyes and a perpetually bored expression, for a round. He didn't even look up from his phone. I walked the course, my clubs clanking against the silence. The ball rolled past a faded dinosaur, its paint chipped and peeling. It bumped against the side of a miniature Eiffel Tower that had seen better days. It was peaceful, in a desolate sort of way. No expectations. No judgment. Just the dull thud of the ball and the distant chirping of unseen birds. You know, the real ones. Not the porcelain kind. After the round, which I played with a profound lack of enthusiasm, I got back in the car. The mini-golf place was silent now, the attendant probably back on his phone. I drove again. The text message from my college roommate felt like a punchline to a joke I didn't understand. Done. What was done? The deal? The project? Our friendship? I couldn't be bothered to decipher it. I put the phone back in my pocket. I ended up at a diner. The kind that had red vinyl booths and a waitress named Flo who called everyone Han. The air inside was thick with the smell of frying bacon and stale coffee. It was comforting in its utter lack of sophistication. I ordered a burger. And a milkshake. Chocolate. The thick kind. The kind that took forever to suck up the straw. Flo came over. Everything all right, Han? I just nodded. Took another long pull on the milkshake. You look like you've seen a ghost, she said. I managed a weak smile. Something like that. She just shrugged. And went back to wiping down the counter. I ate the burger. It was greasy. Perfectly greasy. The kind of greasy that coats your entire mouth. It was good. I needed something good. Then I remembered. The bird. The figurine. I'd never actually seen it up close. Not really. I'd always just registered its presence. Its offensive avian presence. Was it a robin? A sparrow? A wren, as I'd assumed? I didn't know. And in that moment, at that greasy diner, it felt profoundly unimportant. I paid the bill. Left a generous tip. Flo gave me a nod. A real one this time. I got back in the car. The sun was starting to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. It was a lot. Too much color. Too much spectacle. I thought about the boiler. That low hum. It was the sound of impending doom. Or maybe just a loose valve. I'd never actually found out. She'd probably had it fixed. Or replaced it. She was good at that. Fixing things. Making them work again. Even when I thought they were beyond repair. I drove towards the highway. No particular destination in mind. Just the open road. The asphalt unspooling ahead of me. The headlights of oncoming cars like distant stars. I thought about her. Her hair, still damp. Her eyes, like she was looking at a stranger. Had I been a stranger? Or just a particularly stubborn stain? I didn't know. And I didn't think I wanted to know. The hum of the engine was a constant drone. The road stretched out, endless. I was heading somewhere. Away from the bird. Away from the apples. Away from the scalding water. Away from everything. The radio was playing a song about a broken heart. I turned it off. The silence was louder. The silence was the hum. The hum was the boiler. The boiler was. It was Tuesday. Or maybe Friday. It didn't matter. The days were just days. And I was just driving. I remembered that one time, years ago. She'd borrowed my favorite hoodie. The gray one. Without asking. And I'd found it in her car. Smelled like stale cigarette smoke and cheap perfume. I still haven't forgiven her for that. This bird thing felt similar. A violation of personal space. A disregard for the meticulously curated chaos of my existence. It was the same kind of oversight. The same kind of casual disregard. She never called. Not that day. Not the next. I sat on a park bench. Watched some kids chase pigeons. They weren't the cute kind. More like rats with wings. I think I was hungry. Or maybe I'd just forgotten to eat again. The sun felt too bright. Too optimistic. Like it hadn't gotten the memo. I needed to buy some more of those artisanal pickles. The dill ones. They were almost gone. Then my phone buzzed. A text. From my old college roommate. The one who now ran that tech company. The one who owed me big. For that whole thing with the venture capital pitch. He just sent a smiley face emoji. And a single word. Done.